for this piecewise function, we can see our boundaries are at 0 and at 4. So we're thinking about cutting off at 0 and at 4. Okay, and in this first section, we want to graph y equals 3x minus 1. And then between 0 and 4, y equals 2/3 x plus 2. And then after 4, y equals negative 1/2 x plus 5. So I'm going to start with y equals 3x minus 1. Again, I'm going to graph like I normally would. I'm going to try and get points that would be on my line all over the graph, and then get rid of the unnecessary points. So here's points that would fill this line. Remember, the boundary's at 0, and we only want to graph it on this side of 0. Okay? And it did not say at this portion it could be equal to 0, so it should have an open endpoint. So I'm going to get rid of these extra points outside the boundary. I'm going to make the point on the boundary an open circle and graph that line. Then between 0 and 4, I want to graph 2/3 x plus 2. So I'm going to graph it like I normally would. I'm going to start at 2, and I'm going to go up 2 over 3, 2 over 3, or down 2 and over 3 the other direction. So these would be points on that line. Again, we only want it to the right of 0, and then we want to stop it here at 4. So I'm going to erase the points to the left of 0. It is equal to 0, so this endpoint is filled in, and it does go this direction. Now, I'm a little confused about exactly where to stop it here at the boundary. So again, if I am, I'm going to plug 4 into that function. So 2/3 times 4 plus 2. What do I get as a y value when I plug in that x value? So I get 8/3 plus 2. 2 is like 6/3. So I get 14/3 or 4 and 2/3. So this is like the point 4 comma 4 and 2/3. And remember, this is an open endpoint because it's just a boundary. So 4 comma 4 and 2/3 would be somewhere there. That's where I would connect that line to. The last section that I want to graph is the y equals negative 1/2 x plus 5. So I would start with my y-intercept at 5 and go down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. So here's the points on the line on my graph. But again, it doesn't start here till 4, and we only want to the right of that boundary. And it should be a filled-in endpoint. So that is from this closed endpoint to this direction. And those other points that I plotted for this line would not be included because they're outside the boundary. So this would be our piecewise function.